Hello. Okay. I need to get you guys some juice because that phone, I don't know how long it's going to be like. Yep, sounds like you did. Okay. Hi, everybody. Who may at this point be nobody, and that's cool too.
Sharon on the face.
It's not Revenge of the Ducks.
It isn't.
We're looking for I'm a Gibbering Mouther Boulder.
Rest of the studios. Reverse. Hey, John.
John, Robert, Hugo, DM Cash, Jose, Urbina, Line Cook Thor, Spastic Pug, Ezekiel Bradshaw, Dalton Fears, Robert White. Hello, everybody. John? We got a new web store. Awesome. Anyway, I'll show him later. All right, let me pop out. We don't have Shannon right now. We might later. Right now we have Stacy, and we won't even have her long because she's going to go paint outside.
Because the thinner fumes are fine, but the paint gets overwhelming.
Right. Yeah, you calling yourself that one.
Listen.
Yeah. Stacy has used enough contact cement to get knee high, and that takes an effort.
Hi, Thor. Stay, Stacy. I will stay.
She's only going outside. It's not like she's condemned to be gone forever or anything. All right, and we go mold this puppy right here. All right.
Hi, Dalton.
To do that, I of course have to clean off the plaster bucket.
Hello, Robert. Darren and Karen looked awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be tightening them up a little bit later. They need drool and that kind of stuff. Karen especially, her mouth was made for drooling.
Cobweb says, can I make a stepping stone out of ultra?
It will not last long. You're far better off to get Quikrete Patcher Cement. Quikrete Patcher Cement. I would not make a stepping stone out of Ultra Cal. It doesn't hold up in the elements well. Now you could use Statuary Hydrocal, but again, you're not going to have the same strength as you would like a Patcher Cement or concrete, which is only like $8 a bag at Home Depot.
Darren woke up in the morning to Karen after the shotgun wedding and tried to chew his arm off to escape Karen. Karen woke up and bit Darren's face, and now they have a happily ever after scenario.
That I like that. I like where your mind, how your mind works. I got a new cord reel. Ooh, it's going to go outside on the porch, but it's not there yet.
Brandon D says, Lord, I was born a Gibbering Metal. They're trying to kill adventurers, just gibber it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Gibbering, whatever.
I like gibber. I like gibbering. I like jibber jabber, yes.
Jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber, but those are both spelled with J's. And the fact that it's spelled with a G, it's like the whole gift scenario.
Yep. And we're right back here. Hugo says, challenging mold. My God.
This is a Bigfoot weather vane that's going to go on top of the shop.
Thomas says, I like that high-tech weather station.
Yeah. When in doubt, use a Bigfoot weather vane.
When in doubt, indeed.
Okay. Now I can get to the plaster to make the mold. Yes, that is a dope weather vane. That's what the kids are calling it these days. Dope.
It's lit, fam.
It's lit, fam. Yes. Indeed.
Or
Say no more,
says
fam.
nice weather name. Dalton says, I need that weather vane in my life. It'll be Sassy Squatch.
Well, I suppose. This version has no pumps, but whatever you're into.
Hello, Rodney Pope. Here's a hood made today.
I would need a bucket of water to mix plaster.
Possibly.
An ingredient. I know exactly what you mean by sassy squatch.
What does he mean by sassy squatch?
There is a gif of Sasquatch in high heels, and it says sassy squatch.
Hello, Michael Lassiter. Scientist. Sasquatch news review. Take a look at Flash Dance's behind news review.
3D show. Ooh.
Brandon says, feeling bad for spamming chat, but I was asking about the Bigfoot hanging under the Liquitex above the Rust-Oleum, not your Wolfman mask.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Bigfoot hanging under the Liquitex above the Rust-Oleum. I don't.
Describe more.
Yeah.
There's so much Liquitex and so much Rust-Oleum.
When you
in the
said
shop.
Bigfoot, I don't know what you meant. That is the nature of
Capricorn
my
blank?
life.
Is there? Is that the one that's on the table?
This was from the other day, right? Okay, I tell you what. I'm going to spin around, okay? We're going to spin
This is
around.
where you were working last night.
We're going to spin, and you tell me if you see it, okay?
Is it Chikumo?
Did I buy goating?
Where were you working last night?
Man, I don't know where I was working last night.
Says, yes sir, I was just curious because I made it air fresheners at Bigfoot.
Oh, it's Bigfoot air freshener. I have a Bigfoot air freshener. Yeah, yes, right here. That's all you had to say was air freshener. Don't lead with Sasquatch. Yeah, it's a little. It's, it doesn't smell like Bigfoot. It doesn't smell like pine trees. I thought it smelled like pine trees. It smells pleasantly like the candy coating on some things. Yeah, Sasquatch. Okay, that was it.
It's a fresh watch.
Where did I find that? I am in a unique situation where sometimes interesting Bigfoot things get mailed to me. And I believe that was just kind of randomly mailed to me. Because they knew that I would appreciate it forever.
I Spy in Helen's shop. Oh God. We could be here forever.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Sasquatty.
Just make those all the time.
Vanilla, spices, and pine scents.
That sounds tasty.
It does.
Just made me hungry. Okay.
How is the Gibbering Mauler?
It's about to be molded. About to be face covered in stone, like you do.
Thomas R says skunk ape down here.
Yes, yes it is. Sometimes it's the Ohio grassman. All depends on where you are.
Kyle Candlestick says I'm a hoarder too.
See, I'm not a hoarder because I intend to use everything I have, and I don't forget it. And if someone offers me money for it, I will sell it to them.
Ezekiel says that doesn't smell like Sasquatch, especially where you smelled it. Did you sniff its butt?
Well, my nose is about the quarter the size of its body, so it's possible.
Cabo says that say the same thing. That's what hoarders say.
No. Maybe a little. Actually, I don't take anything unless I know that I can use it within 3 years. Like, if I don't have a project planned for it within 3 years,
He gives it to me.
then I offer it to Stacy, and she takes it.
Because I am a legit craft hoarder. Thomas R. says, Alan, where's your mask?
I have 2 industrial shop air scrubbers. They're both on, so
We've been using those.
yes. Masks are for outside your home now. They're not for inside.
Dalton says, please tell that to my husband, because he won't let me get anything else right now.
Alexa, count down 2 minutes.
Cowboy says, we just need more shins.
2 minutes, starting now.
When 2 minutes is up, I'm going to zert in the burt.
No.
What?
No, zert.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I need to.
My Glasser says you're a well-planned hoarder.
Yes, that's fair. But I have said no to things.
Hello, Lisa.
I had someone call me once and say, listen, I have 500 railroad ties.
Oh my gosh.
Not the spikes, but like the beams that are under the railroad tracks. We have 500 of them. Do you want them for free? We will drop them off. I didn't
Oh
even
my
have to
God.
load them up. And I said no, because I didn't have a use for them.
Oh, no. That's tragedy.
I actually hooked up another outdoor haunted house with them.
Oh my. Ezekiel says, just an FYI, kids are on school holidays, so we have mini eyes in class today.
That's good.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not, yeah, Stacy, watch your language.
I am going to be
He was
very
saying that
careful.
because you were on.
It's true, I'm a foul-mouthed harridan.
Kinda.
I will try and behave. Listen, you're not teaching them good swears now. They're gonna
Someone
learn
else
from their
is.
friends, and they're gonna think they're so uncool. So, and this is creative American swearing. Like, it's one of our chief exports.
Yeah, we're not. We have nothing on creative swearing compared to Australians.
That's true.
Yeah.
They do have mass swearing skills. Dalton says, do you still want the vintage dental lights? I still have them for you.
Well, yeah. Of course. Those are things I know that I can use.
Dalton related to Justin and
Yes.
Nikki Spears?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. That's Dalton who works at Dark Hour.
Okay, I didn't know he was related to
Yeah.
Justin and Nikki.
He
That's
is.
cool.
You are allotted.
I feel like, boy, if ever there were a family destined to be in the pond attraction industry.
Alexa, stop!
Ezekiel says the foul mouth's okay, just the sexual innuendo. I get questions. Oh, sounds harder. Kelsey says you hooked up the other haunted houses so you could have any leftover railroad ties?
Maybe.
Organized hoarders are now known as archivalists. Ooh, I like that. Rob says, link for Bigfoot merch dropped in the Creatures group. Thank you. Always needing the Bigfoot merch. Uncle Astor says Australians make up words. Cobweb says Ezekiel could be dropping Australian swear words and we would never know.
I have a freshly mixed buckle toe plaster.
He took it. Ezekiel says, well, now I'm found out. Busted. Now. Woo.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 5:44 p.m. Hope you have a good weekend.
What time do I have to pour out that foot?
We just poured it up when we got back, right?
I don't know. Yes, I poured it when we got back.
Okay. So that was like, we were going to the back for an hour? Dalton says, love you guys, gotta go make dinner for when Dave gets home from work. We'll check back in periodically. Can't wait to see how this turns out.
Well, hoping it turns out like a big mole. That's my hope. I can't guarantee anything. So the first thing I have to do, because Allie has really deep eye sockets, which I actually put a little bit of clay in, because they're all going to get cut out anyway. It's not like we need them.
Ezekiel says we're supposed to be connected to the Queen's English convict sailor language. Michael Astor asks, do you have Loctite?
Yes, I do. Just splashed some plaster in my eyeball.
Oh no.
Yeah, so my first thing is I'm trying to get in all of these teeth to make sure that I don't have air bubbles trapped there. Filled up my 2 eye sockets.
Does all of this need to dry before?
Paint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let that
Is it,
sit
is
there.
it not drying?
Just in some like cornery places, but I would not want it to peel off of. Commissar says check back in also later. Got to button down the hatches. Storm coming in.
Yeah, we had a little minor storm today. A little bit of rain, a little bit of lightning, a little bit of thunder.
Rob O'Brien says did we pledge copiously?
We did. I pledged before we started.
John says count the teeth for later picking out the mold.
Too late. I'm committed.
Listen, there's photos of it. Somebody who's really bored, go pick up that photo and count how many teeth there are. Also, some of those teeth are not pumpkin teeth. They're
Right, some are clay. This, in some situations, one might call this a nightmare to mold.
yeah.
This is a molding nightmare. Like I'm putting plaster on, it's disappearing down into a hole. I don't even know where it's going. But I know it shouldn't be doing that. Every now and then you'll get a sculpture with a hole in it and it's hollow
Oh no.
and it just drinks plaster.
If you're like, wait, why?
Then you have this tree when you demold.
Yeah.
Like, what is this attached to?
Like, how big of a deal is it going to be when I break this off?
And I've seen it where a sculpture dried just the right way to where there's a crack on the inside of the mouth, but it dries and it separates from the rest of the face. So you're then pouring plaster up against your plaster
Oh,
bust.
no. Oh, bad
And
day.
you've got this little thin tail that it's attached to.
Oh, no. Ooh, pretty dry. Mostly.
Again, I'm trying to get to the point where I will be able to fabric this, and I may need to go 2 coats because this is just such a weird piece.
Ezekiel says, damn, the goat is coming along nicely.
Oh, you can see the goat. Yeah, he is. He is coming along. I haven't messed with him much today, but I will. I anticipate a later goat messing period in my evening.
Cobweb says, is there a top side to the Malver?
I don't know what that means. I mean, this
Is
is.
there an up
This
side?
is, this is the chin and that's the head. Only because of eye position.
Logan says, hi everyone, I see that goat in the back and it looks pretty cool.
Thanks.
It is pretty cool.
I got a good email earlier today Universal wants to buy some more masks for me for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yay! What do they want?
That's
Stuff?
it's a repeat of some things I've sold them before.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting because they're going to do Horror Nights.
Yeah. Ooh, it didn't hit me till I stood up.
Yes, stand up slowly because you are probably pretty high from contact cement
Yeah.
and xylene.
And xylene.
Are both of the air conditioners on? Is that air conditioner on?
It is not. I'm not sure it's not. Tom Copeland says, congrats, that's awesome. Robert Bryant says, woo.
For a moment, I thought she was congratulating you for being high on contact cement, and I'm like, what? I get that's very supportive.
Thank you. I worked really hard on it.
And then I realized that's not what she was congratulating you for.
Alright. Take these 3 out, which are totally dry. Spray them, come back in and get this stuff that is psychedelic Stacy. That's not what this show is.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Give us an hour. Okay, so I know under there is a little bit weird. Like here is a little weird. I gotta get in there. Good. It's actually going pretty well. I'm very happy with how it's going. I'm not overly concerned so far.
I can paint some of these benches down here.
What?
Can I paint some of these benches?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a Gibbering Mouther, and I've been wanting to have one of these for a while. And I might even, because of the nature of this piece, I might even do another one down the road that just, you know, is a different collection of eyes and teeth and stuff. I do have plans for a whole costume for him that is, you know, like cultist type robes and an arm that is a Gibbering Mouther arm, eyes and teeth and mouths and maybe some tentacles. I don't think we have named the Gibbering Mouther. So, Logan K, you are going to start listening to the names that people suggest for this. I don't think we named this one. So Logan, if you would start listening, and everybody start telling Logan what your names are. Chopped Liver is an interesting name. I do want this to, you know, all get covered in this go-round. It's going well, going well. Hello, Andy Ferguson. Flesh eat gibbers. Chatty Cathy. That's fun. So same modus operandi as always. Load the brush. I'm probably getting close to where this bucket is getting a little too thick for the brush. My main concern is keeping air bubbles from happening, causing a problem. Hello, Jerry Collins. Yes, I will use burlap, and I'm trying to get to a point where I can use burlap now. I do think that each of these mouths should have a little bit of drool on them in the final piece. I'm excited about making the arm for him too. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Well, I mean, the back and forth motion with my arm really isn't a problem. So, it's, I mean, I guess that would solve a problem, but I don't really have that as a problem.
Slobber knocker, eh?
Hey now. Well, I don't have the arm for him yet. I mean, no one really. It's going to have eyes all over it and mouths all over it, and it might end in some fun tentacles.
Josh, could you use this piece as a belly or a back lump as well?
Oh yeah, big shoulder piece, absolutely. That was actually my plan, was to do one on the shoulder, spun a different way than the head, so then you have a rip in the robe, so the big shoulder's exposed. And I also will probably do a sheet, like a sheet that's just 2 foot by 2 foot, and mold that so that you can do different things with all the eyes and teeth and stuff. If you're going to go Lovecraft, you might as well go full Lovecraft. All right, Alexa, count down 5 minutes.
Second timer, 5 minutes, starting now.
I want it to be thicker so that I can build it up under some of these by hand. So I don't want to use what I've got while it's too thin. I have a bit of carpal tunnel, but it's not detrimental, and it's more hand than it is arm. It's more hand than it is arm, so. Ezekiel. There's kids watching. They're your kids. His name is Potato. You could do a brown version and call it a death potato. They have a lot of eyes. It does look a bit like a. Would you ease off on the McFondle? The gossip goblin. The Death Tater. Okay, that is thick enough. So this eyeball kind of hangs over.
Just cover myself in Flex Seal. Those won't get me.
Yeah. A viable tactic.
Glad we bought more.
I may have been 30 seconds too late on getting to this plaster.
Oh no. Kick in the bucket.
It's almost.
Does it just reactivate the, what you see the shiny?
Yeah.
That was the first round of contact cement that's holding that needle on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just reactivated because of the xylene?
You mean
layer?
it's sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
So I need to let that dry before I paint it?
Not really.
So I was like, there's no way, but that mix is still dry, but they're still wet.
Yep, I'm calling it. That plaster's dead. But I'm very, very close. One more batch like that, and I'll be in good shape.
Aberrant. That'd be normal.
Okay.
Kind of like Gabby. There's a lot of mouths. It might talk a lot.
Hello, Kenny Pete. HP Slugcraft. That's funny. That's funny. That's a little jokey, but I don't know. Alexa, stop. Okay. All right. El Pingo Bucketo. That was Spanish. And I think I have enough to do to where I should do a whole nother batch this way. And then I will just end on the, yes, many Texans speak Spanish, because many Texans are actually from Mexico. Since we kind of invaded and just took it, that's how that works. This would be far better. Simply because leaning over while sitting in the other chair is harder. Yes, many Texans speak Spanish. Not as many as should speak Spanish, and I wish I spoke Spanish, and at some point I'm going to really take some time and try to Duolingo and babble myself into speaking Spanish. I do wish I knew it. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:07 p.m.
Okay, 6:07. So let's say at 6:15 we need that final name. 6:15. Or we need two names to vote between. That's fine too. It is nice to have a few languages. And frankly, there's Puerto Rico is my favorite place I ever visited, and I really want to go back, and I want to go back when I speak Spanish. If you're in Puerto Rico, then and you don't speak Spanish, I mean you're missing a lot. Hugo, I assume that you speak Portuguese and English. Your English typing is excellent. What I liked about Puerto Rico is that everything smelled like flowers. It was beautiful country-wise. I got to spend a little bit of time in the mountains fishing, fishing creeks and streams. It was just a really good time. But, you know, it was always kind of a spring and summer, and the weather was nice. You know, hurricanes and earthquakes aside, it was lovely.
Kids speak Spanglish after a visit to America. I love the waiters next to us.
That's fun. Okay. Alexa, countdown 2 minutes.
Second timer, 2 minutes, starting now.
And when I was in Puerto Rico, why I was there is I was training a haunted attraction that was there. So, and I was shown around by the haunted attraction owner, and it was just lovely. The food was great, the beach was great, the mountains were beautiful. Mega mouth. Fleshling, slobber stalker. Those are good. Oh, yeah, Karen's back there. She'll get work done a little more today, too. I have fake eyelashes to put on her, and I want to drool her up. We'll have to add some wet to her, so. Blob Squatch is actually a pretty great name for this. I also like Slugcraft. I have not foam filled the goat horns. I don't think I will. I'm going to leave them nice and light. Alexa, how much time is left on my 2-minute timer?
You have less than 10 seconds left on your 2-minute timer.
Alexa, how much time is left on my 2-minute timer?
You have less than 10 seconds left on your 2-minute timer.
Alexa, stop. If your Karen isn't glistening, then you're not even trying. So I have to make sure that I turn in a glistening Karen.
So that is drying for the Flex.
That's what?
Drying for the Flex seal.
Cool.
We'll see how that does in the huge humidity.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Puerto Rico. And I lived in Florida for a while, so.
Alright, you want one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Do that first.
Thank you.
Name hey, you go.
Cool. What kind of glue?
Can we make it slightly bigger?
Slightly.
Okay.
We cannot call him slow.
I mean, we could, but we're not gonna.
That would be confusing to the masses.
Probably. Cactus Jack says this mask is gonna be so dope.
I do. I think it's going to be really nice. It does take it's eating up some time right now that I could be working on orders, but I do want this mask done.
Or she says revolting blob.
Beware of the blob, it leaps and creeps and glides and slides across the floor. Beware of the blob. I hear the blob. I have to sing that song.
Logan K says the name will be Blob Squatch.
Oh, Blob Squatch. I love that. That's actually really nice.
Ezekiel says, don't let your stuff turn to stone.
No, I'm getting a turntable. I got 10 turntables and a microphone.
Where it's at?
Because this will allow me to move and mold easier.
Hey.
A little bit thicker is okay.
Cowboy Candlestick says, man, now that I think about it, Sloth was a bit of a gibbering outlet.
Well, you think he only had 2 eyes? They were just in weird places. Blob Squatch. That's fun.
Blob Squatch. We know your legends read.
Yeah, my poor wife, who is not always on the live streams, and then I tell her what the name is. She's like, "What's the name? What? How do I spell Mersapian? What?" Yeah. And it's hard to tell someone that they spelled the word wrong that you made up. I made up this word and it's spelled this way. Julie B. Evil eyes. Evil eyes you have. Evil eyes I will never. What was that band? Was that Firehouse who did that one? Sloth was more of a hunchback, I believe. He was one of your straight up basic deformed dudes.
Sheriff, says Yoda. Here's Steve.
Oh, Steelheart. Sheriff. Were you helping me out with the name of the band? Were you wrong? Because I love that. Your confidence is awesome.
Ah, Steelheart, yeah.
Steelheart, yeah. I think Firehouse did the song "Baby, Don't Treat Me Bad." Is that right? Baby, don't treat me bad. The bar that I worked at, which was partially owned by Janie Lane, I think that was kind of just a front, and he hung out there because other people certainly made decisions. But anyway,
That's neither here nor there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They say yes, that
Steelheart,
was Firehouse.
Steelheart played there. Firehouse played there. It was, a great spot for bands that were slightly past their prime. Hello, Realms. Perfection salad. Look it up.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, I don't. Stacy, can you Google that? I'm intrigued. 'Cause I don't like salad, but I'm willing.
Like perfection.
I'm willing to try stuff. I don't know if I like perfection. I can certainly try very hard to avoid it.
Would you like finished?
Yes, finished is better than perfect.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh. A lot going on in that perfection salad.
There is a lot oh wait, here we go. There's with all the eyes.
Oh.
He said, I told you it was not good.
You know what? There were a lot of bands that had, you know, oddly talented members considering what they really did for a living.
Too bad I can't search the comments to find out who named this guy. What did we end up with?
Blob Squatch,
Blob Squatch.
which I actually really like.
And no one knew who said it first?
No, it just came out of nowhere.
Huh. I will.
The other name that was up for option was Slugcraft, which I really like too.
Logan K said the.
Well, he is the he was the decider.
Oh, okay. Slugclaff, Brian. Oh, let me go back any further. Ruggedly Handsome did say Blob Squatch also.
Hello, Glenn. Well, Glenn, since you're late, your assigned seat has already been taken. So just sit somewhere in the back and catch up. This is the Gibbering Mouther sculpture, which is now named Blob Squatch. So I'm considering just adding foam into this and going. I think that's what's going to happen.
Do it. Do the deed.
And because of how it worked before, I'm going to use the brake stuff instead of Loctite. Because I don't mind that extra working time right now.
Rachel Powell is currently making a derpy mummy out of sculpey clay.
Is your intention for it to be derpy, or is that just happening?
Rob O'Brien says no fabric.
We'll get there. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, like, it's pretty dense. Like,
If I make it thick enough, it'll be okay.
All the stuff is pretty contained in one spot. Like,
I was making the other stuff. So I was making all the molds as thin as possible in order to keep weight down. Okay, so if this is how I'm keeping weight down, well, I'm still keeping weight down, right?
this is intentional. It's got pigeon tips.
Okay.
That a derpy mummy.
Yeah, it's good to be able to control your derp and make your derp intentional. Accidental derp may not be the best thing in the world, but intentional derp has its place.
Horror Beauty says, I'm very curious as to how Blob Squatch is going to look on a human.
Well, I mean, it's built on a head form, and it's vaguely head shaped. I picture it certainly with a hood around it. I want this to be one of those hooded slithering things out in the darkness.
Realms, what will be your nightmares? She's working with Bessie right now. Programming her with your controller. It's not going to be her real controller, just to see how she acts.
Okay.
Horror Beauty says, what will you do with the rest of the body?
A robe, like a cultist type robe, and one arm is going to be sculpted the same way. So they'll have one glove that makes their hands weird and stuff. Their one hand weird, with eyes and tentacles and mouths on it. And then we'll rip the robe and have the mask rotated, and it'll be a shoulder piece. So it looks like the shoulder piece. So it's going to look like a Cthulhu type cultist. I think that'll be a fun way to do.
Copper says, think I'm about to do a Peruvian stretched skull in rigid foam.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun. You're getting pretty esoteric there with the Peruvian stretched skull.
bad because I can see it right there.
Ruggedly handsome and creative too.
It'll look like Sheba of the eyeless face that Gray Mouse worked to.
Oh, cool. That's fun. Wow, Gray Mouser. You're going back.
Do you want the same kind of design stuff on it, or you just want the cuff?
Samey design stuff, if you don't mind.
I do know.
Yes, I have plenty of foam. Realms, I am adding great stuff into the plaster that I have mixed up. And I'm going to slather this on to thicken up the outside of the mold. It'll add to the strength of the mold, but not add greatly to the weight.
See, this is all my recommendations, just stir the pot. You know, Ezekiel, them that stir the pot occasionally have to lick the spoon, so be careful.
Hooray!
We didn't have pot stirrers, we all burn.
I can understand realms if you make molds on a regular basis. What I'm doing looks like sorcery, perhaps witchcraft, and you may want to burn me at the stake because I'm doing it wrong.
No, he says that's what you're really smart.
Yeah, so the great stuff is going to kick and cure also. The plaster is still going to kick and cure, but they're kind of a new material
Pops.
that has yet to be named.
He says, could you do that when you're doing like props? Because sometimes they do like drywall mortar and it makes them so heavy. Could you mix that with great stuff after you make your mortar monster mud?
Absolutely. Now, there's a technique called aircrete, which is where I got this idea from. In aircrete, they use a foam generating gun type thing. And, yeah. So they do that. Aircrete. You can look up aircrete, watch a couple YouTube videos on it. And I just wanted to skip to having to make the foam step. And I figured there's some foam that comes in a can. So let's do that.
Ezekiel says, you know I like this spoon.
Oh, I knew that was going to go there.
Look, and that's him. He's the one with children, man. That wasn't even me. I was a candlestick says, no one reads Fritz Lieber. Did you make a Fritz Lieber joke and I missed it?
You talked about Gray Mouser. Yeah. Yes.
Stacy, can you recommend a scaled fabric for a dragon puppet? Well, I know that there's some commercially available at like Joann's. I know that they've expanded their cosplay line of fabrics through Yayahan. I would keep an eye out because sometimes they run out on clearance. Since they're trying to shift through their cosplay stuff pretty quick. That would be my go-to. But you can also paint scales in, like with puppets, depending on the size of your puppet, it sometimes is more effective to paint just a few scales in to a solid, maybe like a sheened fabric, just to give the impression of scales, because depending on the size of your puppet, it may be visually overwhelming to have it totally in scale print.
I'm gonna go a little crazy, and I'm gonna recommend you do it in a fur, and then you shade your scales into the fur
which
after
does
it's
look
built.
cool.
It's a good look.
And you can probably do that with a template. Pull your fur through and cut it to a
Okay.
reasonable
Needs a little more time before it will
stay where you want to be.
Yeah, it worked that way for me.
You just asked, how much time do you have to play with the hot streak?
You have a while. I mean, I think it actually, the great stuff seemed to, in the past, extend the life of the plaster. So the plaster would be done and ready, and it was still a little loose. So this is going to take a little longer than normal.
Kurt's FX says, what does mixing the foam and plaster do? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
It makes a lighter weight plaster.
Ezekiel says, I watched Ted Haynes' video on his new sea creature. Man, that guy's good with foam.
He is. He is really good. He's amazing. Probably the #1 upholstery foam fabricator in Hollywood. Now it's getting nice and slappy.
Alexa, set a 10-minute timer.
Second timer, 10 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, what timers do I have running?
You have 2 timers. A 2-hour timer with about 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and a 10-minute timer with about 9 minutes and 50 seconds left.
That timer with 1 minute left is to pour out the foot, the monster foot that I've already poured out.
Nice foot.
I do recommend this plaster mix. I actually really like it. You can see it's kind of getting a jello-like feel to it now. It's definitely different, like things happen. I knew this was going to be a bigger mold. Just trying to give it some shape. And I am going to do actually a couple layers of fabric over this. I'll do one. This looks like the last batch, but it's not the last batch.
Alexa, stop.
Correct. The great stuff gives me more working time. The Loctite keeps the working time about the same. And if you recall, I put the great stuff in about 10 minutes into the plaster after I had the plaster mixed up. I think it was about 10 minutes. And I have an area here where these eyeballs have stuck out. And that's why I'm going to do that layer of fabric after, just to make sure that everything has enough coating on it. Very hard on a sculpture like this, especially when I didn't do the sculpt. You know, you become intimately more familiar with a sculpture when you do it yourself. But I'm molding someone else's sculpt right now, so I don't know where everything stuck out, you know. So I'm going to go a little thicker on this than I normally would, just to make sure and just to be safe.
Realm says, I don't know if you knew that Bessie was last night's puppet or not. I just wanted to clarify that it is because I'm trying to get her done before I start eating her. You said he was working on the controller for Bessie?
Oh, cool. Yes, yes. Ted Haynes is on Stan Winston, but I mean, he's also, I mean, this whole thing is documented on his Instagram. If you look up Ted Haynes' Instagram, it might be under there like foam sculpt, foam something. I don't know. I can send you a link to it if you guys want. Can I link to Instagram on Facebook?
Yes.
Is that an old person question? I will. I'll throw it up on there. You can see this is a big boy.
Foam Fibber is his Instagram.
Foam Fibber. Okay, great. That's kind of what I did, L. Copeland. I just wanted my
Foam Fabber.
Foam Fabber. There you go. I wanted my Instagram to just be art. And if anybody posts political stuff, I just delete them. I'm sure they're lovely people, but I'm in charge of the parade, and I decide what your float looks like. That is how I treat social media. It's like a parade that I'm the manager of. And every people's posts are floats that drive by in my parade. So if I don't like the look of your float,
You're out of here.
get your own dang parade.
Big Dog says, what's Instagram? Instagram, is that like a Telegram?
Yes, it is. Yeah, they send messages back and forth. Their doves are involved. It's very complicated.
Here's a picture. Stop.
Yeah.
I showed you my shark. Stop.
Please
respond. Stop.
Okay, pretty happy with that. So what I should do now is go pour the monster foot. You guys can come with me. Yeah, I haven't really noticed the big difference in strength between the foamed plaster and regular plaster. I haven't noticed it. I did notice that the great stuff actually puffs up quite a bit more than the great gypsum. That's a good name. It puffs up more than the Loctite does, but Loctite doesn't especially rise very high to begin with. Hello, Space Age monkey. You're a monkey from the Space Age. I like it. I haven't done enough testing to know. My assumption is that the great stuff is lighter because there's more volume with the same amount of material.
Foot.
Yeah, it's foot time.
Foot o'clock.
I'm gonna go in the other room and do some foot stuff.
You know. Don't make it weird. Good night, Big Dog.
Good night, big dog.
Space Age Monkey asked, what sort of plaster are you using?
Boy, that's a loaded question. So that is, the plaster itself is Ultra Cal. It is Ultra Cal with great stuff foam mixed into it. Because my name is Alan, and I never leave good enough alone.
And no one expects anything else.
Yeah. Hey, while we're in here, you guys want to pull a warthog? Do you want to pull the warthog? Normally you use a brush for this. I don't have time for such pleasantries. I don't see a brush right in front of me.
You need a brush?
No, I'm good. So another thing that I've been doing with Loctite, because the Loctite is, it's more dense than great stuff. So again, another reason why I assume the great stuff version would be lighter weight is I build mold feet, kind of, with the block. So I'll show you, like this mold, all that's foam. See where it's foam here? This is just to make it even and it sits level. The mold was sitting on a brush. This is a warthog.
Rico says that song gets parodied a lot, like it should.
Wow.
Oh man, that's right, looking great.
I'm doing warthog stuff.
You want your horns?
Not yet. I can't miss the warthog too much. I want to finish it.
Fair enough. Your foot dumped.
Yes, but Alexa, count down 10 minutes.
Second timer, 10 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, stop.
Stacy,
Yes, sir.
can you do a story?
Sure.
Okay. Run over the house real quick. It's story time
It's story
with
time.
Stacy while she works on this stuff and things.
Let's see. It's a good story. So the very first haunt that I ever worked in was a get your carpet squares, kids. Was a really small, like not a home haunt because it was like a pro haunt right across the street from our high school, and so it was naturally yeah. It was totally staffed by high schoolers, and the guy, I guess it was just like a passion project, as these things usually are. The whole place was haunted. It was just an old house that had been sitting there that they had converted into a haunted house. So there wasn't a whole lot in the way of like actor passages between places. So it was small enough that we could run one group through it at a time, like to completion before we let another group in. And so I was the hostess of this. So I was like playing like a vampire Red Riding Hood kind of character. I don't know, I was 16. And they would finish the entire show by grabbing me up into the ceiling. We had an attic boy who was our. It was also unsafe. Like now being in a really safe professional haunt, I look back on this and go like, oh my god, what were we doing? But he basically had the whole run of the house up in the attic and would pop down in particular places and out over the queue line and stuff as well. But we would finish every single round by leaning down out of the ceiling and hauling me up. But just as if, they thought they were safe, they're leaving, there's the exit, and then the guy gets attacked. But by the end of the first season, and we only ran through October, I had a solid, like from here to here was all just solid bruise from where he grabbed me and yanked me up in the ceiling. So that was fun. We also had it was the first time that I really saw the kind of creative things you could do in a haunted house that I just really hadn't seen before. They had cut out behind the kitchen cabinets, all of the drawers had been sawed off to just a few inches there with a handle attached on the back of them. So one actor could crawl around behind all of the cabinets and push the drawers in and out and things like that. We had a fridge with a hole cut in it between the freezer and the refrigerator, so you could open the freezer and have a exposed head, separate head that would scream at you. We built like a pit in the pendulum kind of thing with a dummy body up on top and a girl laying in the hollow underneath, screaming her head off while the big pendulum swang. And we had an exorcist bed. And the Exorcist girl is my late sister, and so she would the first year that we did it, she would lay on top of the bed, and another actor would be up under the bed frame that had a hinge in it. So you had the mattress with a hinged part, and he would kick that kick the hinged portion so it would bounce the mattress up, so she would be flailing around much more like she was possessed than she could actually do under her own power. And then the second season that we operated, she would hide under the bed, and so people who had come through the year before would go, oh, there's supposed to be a girl here, like the actor's gone, or and she would pop up through the hole and flip the mattress up. It was good times. We had some pretty standard stuff, I feel like, for small early haunt stuff. We had a Jason station where we had like multiple bodies lined up, and one of them was Jason, and the Jason one usually was a static prop, and then one of the other like scarecrow figures would be a real person who would come over and follow you into the next portion. We had a big kitchen with a full like French chef, big hat, big mustache. But my favorite part in the whole thing was the second year we added a maze outside, and I mean just straight up a 2x4s and cross pieces and black plastic sheeting. It was the cheesiest and yet the most effective. It was not very big. It was quite small, but we did have enough room in between the walls to have an actor like a skinny guy could run in between the walls of the maze and put his arms up, his hands out. It was a lot of fun, and that was my very first haunted house experience. I wanted to make a haunted house since I was very, very young. I had a tree house growing up, and had Kmart spider webs, and I stole my dad's Frankenstein gloves and wrapped him around a tree like Frankenstein was reaching for you. I wanted to have that so much, and so going to get to see somebody who had the space and the budget to do it for the first time, I was totally, utterly enchanted and hooked. And ultimately, I talked the guy into letting me help him build and letting me help him do makeup. I basically did the same thing I did with Alan, which is I said, hey, I can do stuff. Where do you want me?
Yeah, where should I do stuff?
Where should I do stuff? Can I come help? And he said, yes, you can. And ultimately, the rewards have been amazing and include peach ice cream. So.
Shannon is very busy making peach ice cream. Was your story done?
Yeah.
Okay. I just kind of turned it away from you. Shannon makes peach ice cream. It's delicious.
I was telling about my first haunt ever.
Cool. Yep, we're getting hurt.
Ooh, that's cold. They were saying you looked coked out?
Yes, from the, yes. Yeah, boogie sugar.
Yeah, the boogie sugar.
Yeah, I have powder all over me.
Alan's ripping your carpet squares away.
Motorized.
You should be. It's real good.
It's a good kid you got there, Rodney. It's a good kid.
Mm-hmm. Did you bring it up for the whole class?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Copeland says his outreach ice cream included in monster camp.
Oh, Shannon cooks every meal. The food at Monster Camp is pretty awesome.
Rodney, put that kid back in. Hi, what realms will be your nightmare? Realms, what will be your nightmare? There you go.
Well, that could help. Yeah, I think just doing some fabric over everything and leveling out the top is all this needs. I feel like it's done, but this is a very round part, and that's a very round part, so I know that there's no, it's not as big as it should be.
Poison cement. It says peaches and scream. Sounds great. That would be if Shannon were to sell this at the farmer's market. That is 100% what it would be called.
Oh yeah,
Peaches
peaches
and
and cream. I set my bowl down. Oh, there it is.
So with the pickup at Junior, will the pickup at Junior work to hook up my fog machine and lights and stuff for my snake?
Cool.
There.
Yes, it will. But also, if you're just doing that, then maybe you can go with a Peekaboo AC. All that does is turns on outlets, but it has a soundtrack. It has a background soundtrack, and then it has a
Alexa, stop.
It has a background soundtrack, and it has a triggered soundtrack.
Michelle Schulte says, late to class. Or, hello everyone, had a meeting.
Hello.
It's okay. If you had a meeting, you get a hall pass.
Unlike Glenn, it was just late. Okay.
Ezekiel says, lick the bowl, show your appreciation.
Oh, that's delicious. I licked the bowl off camera, so you guys don't think less of me. I don't have a recipe, but my wife does. I know it involves pureed peaches that go in the mix, and then
Sorcery.
chunk pieces that are not in the mix. Well, they're in, but afterwards. Good to see you here. Okay, let's get a knife. Wait, let's mix our plaster first.
This is off camera. Do you want to see that?
No one wants to see that, Ezekiel. No one wants to see that.
You have children watching, dude.
I linked the bowl on camera. Some people unsubscribe. Gifts are made. New people subscribe. The whole channel changes. We don't want that.
Got a good thing going here. Let's not
Yeah.
make it too weird. I, however, will totally lick the bowl for a nominal fee.
It's so weird to clean plaster out of a bucket and smell great stuff foam.
Yeah.
Like I'm not smelling what I should be smelling.
Ezekiel and his kids are yelling to my wife, can we get peaches? Move into country. Go
Peaches
eat
are
all
good.
the peaches. Move into country. Go eat all the peaches.
I think that as Australians, you are obligated to eat at least 5 Tim Tams a day for those of us who can't always get Tim Tams.
Laura Beauty says eat a lot of peaches. Exactly. You know, peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man. A factory.
These peaches
downtown.
came from a farm stand.
Yeah, it does. And they're sweet and wonderful.
Okay. Clean bucket.
Yes, rich pile of peaches, my presents. United States of America.
Didn't they also do if you want to destroy my sweater?
No, that's Weezer.
Oh.
They
Similar.
did. They did love.
Similar. She's lump. She's lump. She's lump. She's in mine. Yes.
If Ezekiel says 5 Tim Tams, you want to diet?
Not me. You should at least 5. That's your minimum.
Nicholas Bittner says, just on the title screen, reminds me of Rob Botton's work on the thing.
Yes, yes, it should, because that was an influence. Well, your walls, your walls should be vertical, obviously, at a 90. Like here's your sculpture, like here's your nose, you know. Let's say it's sideways. Your walls should be vertical, very, very straight up and down, at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular to the sculpture. And take your time. The mold wall is the mold. So take your time and do that one as right as you can.
Zika says they're half price at the moment. I'm collecting a supply and I'm not ready to check into diabetes just yet. Christopher Lazat says, I wonder if the makers of Tim Tams are wondering what has caused the surge of Tim Tam consumption in the U.S. It's very localized. Seems to be only hunters. Very strange.
Currently, I'm getting some plaster off of my arm because it's embedded in my arm hair.
Horror Beauty says, ask Ayla exciting about the magic door.
Alexa, what about the magic door?
Here's something I found on the web. According to blogspot.com, that door is pure magic.
That door is pure magic.
Alexa, do you know about the magic door?
Here's something I found on Wikipedia. The Magic Door is a Jewish educational television series aimed at providing throughout to Jewish children in the Chicago metropolitan area, but intended to appeal to all children in the 5 to 9 age group.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
I don't think that's what you wanted us to know, Horror Beauty.
So I sent some to my sister in Finland. They were sitting on the dock. Damn postage is a mess right now.
Yes, postage is a mess right now, without doubt.
Hopefully in Finland they're not getting melty. Because that would be terrible. It's the worst thing that can happen.
That is an excellent breakdown, El Copeland. Excellent breakdown of how the day is going.
Gave that story to her.
Sure you did great.
She said no, it's an adventure game she plays with you. I guess she wasn't feeling it.
Okay. Alexa, do you think I make good life decisions?
Here's something I found on the web. According to CNN.com,
No.
I think it's the right and only decision.
Okay. Way to avoid that.
Christopher loves it. It was a good story. It was not a good story, but thank you. It was my Halloween origins.
Next story you should tell the making of the execution of Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus. Okay. Hi guys. This is
Hello.
life advice from CNN.
Hey, buddy. How are you, Boris? Plaster, don't eat it.
You killed Mrs. Claus?
Hello,
I did
Bella.
not kill Mrs.
Hello,
Claus.
Bella.
I brought
Hello.
Mrs. Claus to
Hello.
life.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy.
Getting that quality puppy loving.
You're all trying to mix plaster. Oh.
They're like, let me tell you how much I don't care. Oh, my
We're good friends.
goodness.
We're good friends. Okay.
Tickle Hill Cemetery says tonight was family game night, so better late than never.
Hooray.
I'll cope with us. Does that mean Shannon's our way?
I don't know.
Come on, guys. Come here. Hi. Oh, Brian says dog pile on Ellen. Literally. Like, not even metaphorically. Oh.
Dog say hi.
DM Cash says, how can I make my dragon puppet smoke?
Oh,
Give it a pack of Marble Red.
there's a look up cosplay fogger. Cosplay fogger. It's a great little fog machine.
Is that the one that they've used like inside masks and stuff?
Yes, it's not even that expensive.
Gosh, those are cool. Hi, Bella. Oh, sweet Bella. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Oh, good. Oh, you're so stinky. Oh, you're so stinky.
It's harder on a wheeled chair.
It is. They really want to push
They
it
will
around.
drive you around the room.
Hugo says, hello, Boris, Bella, and Cheney. Yeah. Oh, my good lord.
Yeah, I mean, this gets just as hard as plaster. It's pretty crazy. Didn't I do it first in the Karen mold? Is that the first mold I did it on?
Maybe? Sounds right. but
What's
also-
funny is that was not that long ago, and I've done it on like 6 molds since then.
Right? Been busy.
Alexa, count down 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
I would practice some today.
Autocorrect is hitting everybody pretty hard today. Shannon probably just fed them,
So now they're all
and that was their post-feeding happiness frenzy.
full of food and vinegar.
Yes. I'm just leaving the room for a moment, so entertaining. Perhaps some soft shoe.
Say again?
Perhaps some soft shoe.
Challenge! No. Mrs. Claus, I think is what he was asking about earlier. Mrs. Claus was a character that I did for the last Wreck the Halls show that we did. And she was literally Mrs. Claus. I'll share a picture to the Creepers group, because we got some pretty terrific ones. But,
Alexa, stop!
but it was Santa's wife, Mrs. Claus. I made the costume for it. So it was a big big red floofy skirt with a white trim on the bottom and a white grandma blouse with little green and red claws, like embroidered in sequins on the collar, and a cape, great big rickrack spirals around the sides, and this giant lobster claw on one hand, like a huge 2-piece lobster claw on one hand, and the other hand is a glove made out of 3 pieces of claw. They were these like giant crab legs, of which 2 of which we saved the entire leg and made this belt that sat high up on the waist with 2 giant crab legs off of it. And so the glove was just the end joint of all of the crab legs. I don't know where we acquired giant crab legs.
Those were from Asylum Props, and I got them at MHC, and they had this whole they were like $10 a piece. And I'm like, I'll take all 7 of them.
So those asylum crab legs we turned into a glove and 2 giant crab legs. And we were Mrs. Claus wishing everyone the hot, buttery warmth of the season. We have a link for the cosplay fogger. Yeah, we'll get that link up there, guys. And what am I making? I'm making another gauntlet for a project as of yet unknown.
For some other slacker in the room. That's me. It's me. I'm the slacker.
Crab people. Yeah, I'll find that picture and drop it in the Creepers page because it was really funny. Like, Alan gave me a hug when he came through the first time showing it. That is not a thing he does, but he was laughing so hard. Shannon too. Like, it was just really funny.
And creepy.
And creepy.
Because she was a crab person.
And pretty much anybody who would come through would go like, oh, it's Mrs. Krabs. And I was like, that's Mrs. Claus to you. But some people would get it right away and be like, oh my God.
And it was a Christmas themed haunted
It
house.
was a Christmas themed haunted house.
Yeah, lots of fun.
I think Robert Alcala got some pictures of me in my room as well. Ezekiel says, excuse me, sir, I have to leave. I broke 2020 protocol, no guitar buying. I'm going to pick up the new acquisition. Don't tell the wife. Come back and tell us what you bought. I want you to know.
I see. Did you accidentally buy a guitar? That happens to me all the time with weaponry.
Oops. It just jumped in my cart.
The knife and the broken handle.
A key.
Aha!
Where did you get the Bigfoot weather vane? That's awesome.
Oh, I got it from a friend. It came in the mail today. So I know that it came from North Carolina, I think. Friend got it for me. I'm gonna put it on top of the shop. Sometimes you need that in your life. Okay. That is enough squares for this.
That'll do. I found the pictures of it.
Oh. Do you want to come and show them the pictures?
I'm gonna put it in the creatures group, so
Okay.
I think it'll show up better.
That's right. I forgot that we have technology.
Yeah, we do. Jill Schulte says, Alan, have you ever had a professional photographer shoot pics of every scene, or you just have a select group of actors/actresses you're in for pics?
We have a photographer on staff most of the time, and we work with a company called Fearworm, and they have a photographer also. And we will set up a time to do a video shoot or photo shoot, and then we normally have looks and certain things we're going for. We also do something called Actor Appreciation Day, which is where the actors can come in, use our costumes, use our masks or whatever, or just use our sets and take pictures for themselves, for their Instagram, for their Facebook, for whatever. So that's something that we do too, and a lot of good pictures actually come out of that. Normally our photographers are interior photographers, meaning in-house. This is the first time that I have had the foam plaster in the middle. First time. So we'll see. I don't think that it like expands, quite a bit or anything. Yeah, I've never had a whole crack on me. But if it expands, then it could crack this layer off of it. But I've never seen that happen, and I don't have any real reason to think that it does. I did put on a little bit of plaster first to prime the pump. Now I'm going to make sure that there are 2 layers all around this mold.
All right, Mrs. Claus is up in the creepers group.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I had to leave the belt and the big claw in my room because it was so big and so unwieldy that I really couldn't navigate through the show.
Yeah, some set parts are best left.
And then that was the show that we were doing, the like finale curtain call thing.
Yes.
So I have to run to the end. So I should like take off the belt claws and then run to the end. And I couldn't really throw snowballs at people because I didn't have hands. So I just bounced.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah, the actor appreciation is actually a really fun thing that we've done. And I think we'll do one of those as soon as we're allowed to have people back in the building.
Heck yeah. All of the pictures of the haunted headdresses that I've got up on like my Stacey Hawkins Facebook, Robert Alcala shot those for me. He also shot the Mrs. Claus picture that's like actually in the room there.
And he sculpted the warthog.
And he sculpted the warthog because he's awesome.
Yes, Lazy Susans are always good ideas.
Thank you, Thor and Michelle. It was fun. It was Alan's idea.
Well, okay, so here's what I did, all right? I just, when we did the cast list and the, because there's the cast list, which has the cast, and before that, it had the character list. On the character list, I wrote, Mrs. Claus is going to be in this room, C-L-A-W-S. I didn't actually have a huge idea of what I wanted to do, but I knew that name would invoke in someone, you know, interest. It would invoke in someone, oh, here's what we'll do. You know, it's one of those, I'll just say what it is, and then someone will tell me what it means for them.
They were worried I was going to be mad.
Yeah.
Because I'm an actor trainer, I'm rarely just in a room. I usually am roaming around in a section checking on people, or I'm out front doing queue line stuff. They were worried I was going to be mad because I was going to be stuck in this one room, because it really is not a super mobile costume.
You're built into the set.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, no, are you kidding me? And she was like, I think we could probably use your, I have a Lizzie Borden costume that kind of looks like a Christmas caroler. And I was like, no, like if we're gonna do Mrs. Claus, she has to be Mrs. Claus, you know, like there needs to be no ambiguity about who I am. And so I was like, screw it, I'm making a costume.
And it was a fairly quick makeup that we did every night.
Yeah.
I think I did that makeup most nights.
I think you did that makeup every night.
So, it was hard to explain to a makeup artist.
Yeah. Mouth helps.
It's all fun and games when somebody misses your mouth pops.
Al Copeland, yeah, that blue lit picture, that's Robert Alcala. He's got a good eye. It was a lot of fun. and Damn It Rob was St. Nicholas in the room kind of right next to me.
Skinny, angry Saint.
Skinny, angry St. Nicholas, yeah. He's on all the promo stuff for that particular Wreck the Halls.
Yes. So I'm just making sure that everything has to, I'm doing a folded layer here down at the bottom. So that bottom's a little thicker than normal. I'm not worried about it, but I do want it to have that strength.
Harry Beastie says, I use my IKEA Lazy Susan for the same purpose. It makes molding a good bit easier.
Yeah, I was looking at the IKEA Lazy Susans, and I just decided on these black ones from Amazon. They were less expensive, and if I kill bearings, I want to do it on a cheaper product.
Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Lisa Arndt says, sounds like Hans will be more masks, less makeup this year. Good for still piece business.
Well, yeah, yes, that's true. That's fair.
I definitely think more Hans will move into airbrush makeup for sure.
Yeah, and airbrush is something that I've been doing quite a bit of. There's a learning gap for airbrushes, and I've tried to start breaching that gap early for haunts. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on a very accelerated schedule as far as our own haunt build season. Because we won't get started until mid-August. And that means we have a whole show to build, you know, in a pretty short amount of time. We'll need another small batch, it looks like. I'm not going to get all the way around this on what I think will be my second run.
Brian commented on it. That's clawsome. Harry Beastie says, I've seen Lazy Susan bearing sets rated for 300 pounds for pretty cheap on eBay.
Yeah. I'm more worried about gunking it up, like getting too much plaster dust in there or whatever. Well, you know what? I might make it.
Might just pull this on.
Here is the line, so I need to get one more piece out of this. And I think I have enough plaster here to do that. Currently, I'm trying to find one of those playground windows, like the bubble from the plastic playground tube sets, in order to make a like a stilt costume submarine type thing.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's going to hang from the ceiling. It'll be in the pantry corner. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Oh man. That'll be cool.
So it'll hang from the ceiling, and the stilt walker just steps into it and then operates the arms and stuff.
That's neat. I like that. Hey, Enigma.
Hello. Hey, Guts. Not completely inappropriate for this crowd. Okay, I'm going to call this Molt Dunish.
Dave Jennings says that would be amazing. Yeah, I think it would.
The video that I found online, it was this Japanese company that made an exoskeleton, and since then, you know, I didn't get a chance to capitalize on it and do one, but that design was used kind of for Stan Winston's big robot that they did for either Maker Faire or Monster Palooza or Comic Con, one of them.
Nice.
And my friend Bruce Mitchell was the pilot. He was the stilt walker pilot of it. But every now and then I get a video that I kind of put in my pocket. I'm like, I'm going to do this one day,
Mhm.
and this is my chance to do it.
So we think if we decide, say we, like I didn't put in that, if they decide that they're gonna go ahead for the season, that we are gonna pursue the full team.
Yeah, that's what I'm pushing for. I met with Jake the other day. I actually got a sound walkthrough
Yeah,
because he
has been working on it.
has been working on the
Of course,
soundtrack, so I
yeah.
got a good sound walkthrough. I feel good about it, and I think that we can achieve a lot with lights, sound, and costuming.
Yeah. Let's keep looking. First X domes are extortionate. I looked into one last year. Mini robot maquette right now. I'm testing the design before I do a big giveaway one.
Yeah, I have some options. I don't just have to use the dome, but if one falls into my lap, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Yeah, it's on the list of what we want to do.
On the list. I'm about it. Rob thinks all the actor trainers should be Vikings. Like
Okay,
running a pillaging pack.
okay.
Vaseline that far out on the.
Yeah, pretty much Vaseline the whole board. Slap it.
Still pretty fumey in here, guys.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Hugo says laughs.
I'm just waiting on this to dry. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 7:23 p.m.
Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stop the live feed for a while and do my standard break. And then, I don't know if you'll still be here, but the wife will be here. We'll come back probably about 8:30 and go live again for a couple hours to the end of the night. So, but that it means I can flip this guy over, let him cure up all the way. Yeah, and get ready for work shift phase 2. So, all right, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Stacy, say goodnight.
Good night.
And I'll probably see you guys later. Go make stuff.